clients, particularly in the smaller markets, tend to fall in three categories when we're talking about digital services. There are those who use it and know they need it and want it, and it's really fun to work with them up early. They know what they want, and they know what good looks like. Excuse me, and that makes it very easy. Then you have the folks who are anchors out. They're not using it themselves. They think it's a fad. We don't want it. We can't use it. Go away, please. But there's a substantial folk in the middle of those two who are going, we don't know how it works. We don't really need to know how it works or why it works. We just need to trust that somebody's going to do it right for us. We have the relationship with you. Help us.
Hi, I'm Lloyd.
And I'm Jeremy.
And you're watching Broadsheet, the business of news.
Last time on Broadsheet, we talked about how important it is to educate your sales force. This time, we'll be talking about how important it is to educate your clients.
And that takes a lot of forms. So we're going to start out with understanding the client, all the way to actually doing a needs analysis in a very sort of official way, going into educating them through seminars and things like that. Mm-hmm. And we'll kind of wrap it up with a kind of an interesting way that you can bundle digital and print stuff together so that they can get the whole package.
Absolutely. So first up, we're going to hear from Ad Taxi and Digital First Media, Graham Newspapers, and Fusion Farm about how they go about understanding the client's perspective.
Hi, my name is Jeannie Parent, and I'm the Senior Vice President of Advertising for Digital First Media. Back then, it was really all about print, and it was all about the Sunday paper and the frequencies and the flights and all of those things where we were able to maximize our profits as a business. And now what we have to do is really think about how we can maximize our clients' profits first and still recognizing our bottom line, which is a challenge for us.
My name is Kelly Homewood. I am the Director of Digital Marketing Products at Fusion Farm in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. So the advice I would give other newspapers is definitely to consider what are the needs of the businesses. So, take a step back from what your needs are as a newspaper and think, what do businesses need? So this is aside from news and the way that we deliver news. This is just really based on the marketing part and aspect of newspapers. But I think if you focus on what does a business need to be successful, what kind of marketing does a business need to be successful, and then being really honest with yourself of what you can deliver.
And so what we encourage our account executives to do is really understand that business before they go in. So they ask the right questions. They get to the root of what needs to happen. So, for instance, you could speak to a local dentist who needs to fill his chair. But what does that mean really, to fill that chair? And if the chair is not filled for an hour, what does that cost the dentist? And so really trying to understand that, how to fill the chair, how to get the first appointment, how to help get the consultation. And you can take that right across any advertising client, from a jeweler to a restaurant, anywhere.
I'm Trish Shifflett. I'm the advertising manager for the Graham Leader. We market more than sell our products. We've been in the change of this for probably a year and a half, training our staff that they're marketing people, that they're not sales reps anymore, and that we try to look at an overview of what each customer needs, and then we place them where they need in the different platforms that we have to offer.
Well, it's really all about telling your clients that you really care about them and what their needs are. And individual small businesses now are challenged with so many things. They have to think about taxes, and they have to think about rent, and they have to think about keeping people in the doors, and they have to think about staffing. And so they're not necessarily marketing experts. They're very good at what they do in terms of the product that they sell, but not necessarily good at the marketing side.
Hi, I'm Greg Autry, publisher of the York News Times, York, Nebraska. We deal a lot with owner-operated customers that are busy doing what they do. If they're plumbers, they're out plumbing. If they have an auto repair shop, they're under the car. And they're busy doing what they're doing. And so we've got to find a way where we can help them reach this entire layer of consumers that are out there that aren't reading the physical paper. And we've got to help those owner-operators realize that we've got the tools to help them reach those consumers, which ultimately grow their business, which I'm sure they want to do too.
So we just heard about the importance of understanding your customers. Now let's talk about ways that we can identify other products and services that your customers should be buying.
Yeah, it's called a needs analysis. It's something that a lot of sales organizations do. Everything from enterprise sales to marketing organizations like newspapers should be doing a needs analysis. And the folks we're talking to now are talking about doing it a very casual way and doing it in a very official way.
So we're going to hear from the Observer Reporter, the LA Times, Civitas Media, and 435 Digital, which is part of the Chicago Tribune, about how they've gone about understanding and doing needs analysis for their customers.
My name is Austin Trimble, and I'm the Director of Sales for Own Local. Another word for needs analysis is customer development, and it's the idea that you actually not talk, which by the way newspapers have been talking to their customers for years and years and years, but sit down and listen. And what that means is closing your mouth, opening your ears, and trying to figure out what's really going to work for the other person. It's taking that empathetic approach that says, I need to understand your problem before I can deliver a solution.
My name is Matt Miller. I am the Director of Sales and Marketing for the Observer Reporter and the Almanac newspapers. The needs analysis for us is, it's for new business or business that maybe we've been with for a while and we feel like we've lost our way. And it is just questions and answers about their business, trying to really get to the bottom of what it is that they want and need from this partnership, what their expectations are, what their goals are, who they want to reach, really just getting a good feel for where they're going with their marketing. And then we come back, we analyze it, we look at products that we have, partners that we work with, and we try and put together a multimedia package to address those needs.
Hi, my name is Earl Bear. I'm Director of Digital Ad Sales for the Los Angeles Times Media Group. We kind of start off with not asking specific to our own products. We really talk about an advertiser and what their business objectives are, who their target audience is, and then develop solutions that are based on our product set and our audience channels that fit those needs. So we really approach it from a standpoint of what are you trying to accomplish?
I would say that specific examples of products working for our customers, so we know when we walk in the door that we're going to put together a proposal for a customer, it's going to make sense for them because, we ask a lot of questions, we find out what it is that they need, who it is they're trying to reach. We're very, we try and, do a needs analysis on the front end so that we know the product that we deliver on the back end is going to work.
My name is David Lee Spencer, and I'm the Regional New Media Business Development Manager for Civitas Media. In Civitas, we do needs analysis. I think we're, because digital products in general are new, we really have to train the public on this is why you need it. And so those needs analysis are very important. And I think we do it, but not so much as like a formal, like we come out with the piece of paper and say, hey, do you have a website? We kind of do it on the fly, But when you start talking to these people, I think the public knows they need something. And so kind of getting them to understand and define exactly what that need is kind of what we do. Because a lot of times folk will go in and say, hey, are you interested in internet? And it's like, what does that mean? Like, are you interested in the internet? Like, there's SEO, and then there's different ways to do SEO, and then, you want impressions. Do you want to do a pay-per-click program? There's all kinds of ways, and so when you just go in with something loosely defined, it doesn't work necessarily.
And the other important thing I think about needs analysis that we sometimes have an opportunity to forget is we want to make sure when we're finished with the needs analysis on getting to agreement on okay, making sure we understand what the business objective is. When we put this proposal together for you, we're going to be talking about these objectives that you're trying to accomplish and make sure that when we're producing performance reports, having post-campaign discussions, we can match everything up so that there wasn't a surprise. I have seen it done the wrong way in the past where you put a campaign together and then you find out the advertiser really was interested in driving customers into their store, but we're selling click-throughs, and that's a disconnect. So it's just getting on the same page. Obviously, listening a lot more than you're talking. Let the customer talk, and they're more than happy to tell you what they need.
My name is Matt Cohen. I'm the co-founder and president of Second Street, We work with about 3,300 local media companies across the US and Canada in the area of online promotion. So contests, deals, ballots, email marketing, anything promotion oriented. One thing that I've mentioned that I think is so critical that it just can't be overlooked is we have to be prepared to do needs analysis with local businesses, and we have to be willing to be brave enough, courageous enough to be able to promise results and to know our business well enough to know what it's going to take to deliver those results, and go back to the advertiser and review the campaign and take responsibility for it when it doesn't work, and work with them to find a way to make it work, and take credit for it when it does work. But if we can find measurable ways to work with our marketing partners, the future is very bright as a whole.
As you can see, a needs analysis is a really good way to figure out what your customers should be buying.
And it kind of opens the door, really, to letting them know that you provide these services. You know, if you ask them, are you doing email marketing? What's the first thing they're going to think? They're going to go,
Should I?
Yeah, I'm not doing email marketing. Do I need to be? And is this the guy to do it? Because he seems to be really smart. He's asking me questions.
Exactly. So next up, we're going to be talking about a couple of different ways that we can go about educating maybe even more than one client at once. And we're going to have a couple of examples here from different size markets. So we've got the York News-Times, which is a small newspaper in a small town in Nebraska. We have Fusion Farm, which is at a kind of a middle-sized city in Iowa. And then we also have the Denver Post, which is in one of the larger markets in America.
So if I'm a small business, I really don't have a lot of time to add skills, to learn more. I definitely don't have time to do marketing. Maybe I've got a Facebook account because my 17-year-old daughter told me I should. But beyond that, I'm really doing the bare minimum to survive, to stay above water. So if you're going to teach me something, if you're going to help me learn something, one of the best ways that you can do that is come to me in the place where I can absorb it. And the place where I can't absorb it is when I'm in the middle of trying to operate my business and you're trying to bring something really complicated. So I think if you can keep it simple, if you can provide a delivery method, maybe that's an email, maybe that's a periodic seminar that you offer, those are the types of things as a small business that I'm going to have time for and respect you for. I'm going to view those as assets. If you try to continue to harass me and really try to take me through a long and complex process, you're probably going to lose me.
So we've worked on really a multi-step approach to trying to educate business owners on how to make this work. We've done a series of seminars. So we're doing some free seminars. Fusion Farm is where we're going out and we're inviting any business owner, free seminars to come in, and we do an hour-and-a-half workshop on, we talk about how consumer habits are changing. We talk about the value of directories online and search engine usage, and how you need to be there when folks are looking for your business. You need to show up, and how do you make that happen? It's not promotional at all. We don't try to sell anything at those seminars. It's simply education, and we promote them as education. We provide some workbooks that says, here's how you can do this yourself. So we're not trying to sell our services at all there. We're trying to educate to say you really need this. And here we'll even give you some information that you can go back and use yourself.
My name is Adam Lee, and I'm the Director of Sales for the legal, travel, and higher education categories here at the Denver Post. People are dying to know what they can do to differentiate themselves as a business in the digital landscape. So many people offer the same products. You know, all of our competitors have similar things to us. So what is it that we can bring to the table that ultimately is going to separate us from them? And to us, it's that education aspect. What can we teach them that they've never heard before? What can we utilize in the partnership that we have with Google to help tell our clients what's coming around the bend, and how to prepare themselves as a business, and to dig deeper rather than just, you know, your standard, you know, success metrics that we have in the online space. What can you do to start to really show conversion, show leads, and really put them in a position to succeed? It's going to, you know, do a couple things. One is it's going to make the client happy, and two, it's going to have us bringing in continuous revenue month over month, and that's what we're looking for. And so these educational events, these partnerships that we're making, it's extremely important for us to help continue to push our clients forward and not just give them the same thing over and over again.
For search engine marketing and those types of things, being able to go in and explain the value of that, of making sure that you're found in search results. And it has to start with proving that that's how folks look for businesses. Even though business owners will do that themselves, and that's their own personal habits. They'll know that when they're looking for a business or a product or a service, they go to Google. Even though they know they do that, it's very difficult for them to shift their thinking from, I need to market to my customers via, the way that I've always done it. I need a printed flyer, or I need to send a direct mail piece or put a billboard up, right? It's very difficult for them to think, even though their habits are changing, the habits of their customers are changing, and then equate that to how they have to change their marketing. So it's been a real education process.
And when you do events like that, you never really know what's going to happen. Is this an engaged audience? Are we going to put them to sleep? Are we going to give them something that they've never seen before? Is this going to become a lead for us? And that's something that, again, easier said than done, but over time, it really is a numbers game. And so if we can invite 200 people and we can have 100 businesses show up and we can get 25 appointments out of there, we're confident we can close almost half of those. And so it's something that we're really finding valuable in the industry. And it comes back to one thing and one thing only, and that's education.
And it's actually, while it may cost more on the front end, that you're concerned with the CPM being a little bit higher than what you're used to paying, it pays off because you're only targeting those folks that are already in the market for your product or your service. So the return on your investment is usually much higher.
We had a great event that I put together about 18 months ago that was pretty interesting. And so we traditionally, when the Denver Post has done events or Ad Taxi has done events, we always push a hard close at the end. And so I took the opposite strategy and said, hey, I want to just have this, again, pure educational play. And so we tried to think of the people that would be involved in the process along the way for a student going back to school. And so we had a parent, we had a high school guidance counselor, we had a student, we had college professors, we had a couple folks from around town that help students get scholarships and apply for financial aid. We also had the president of the chancellor of Colorado State University. And so we thought that we had this really well-rounded panel and a question and answer session saying, here's the different things that people think about throughout the process. From the president's level, it's, hey, we need more out-of-state students. From the student's perspective, it's how cool is your rec center and what's the nightlife like? What's the nightlife like around town? From a parent's perspective, what's going to be my ROI on this investment for my student? What types of companies are hiring from this specific college? And so what we tried to do, and we invited all of our advertising folks that we know in higher education, was give them a perspective, not just what are other marketing folks doing around the space in this region, but let's look at every step of the process and some of the things that they think about and are going to be important to them and how you can use that to your advantage during that recruiting process as you bring a parent and a student down the funnel. And so we had never done anything like that before. We had never asked a high school guidance counselor to join us in a marketing event or to get a parent's or a student's perspective. And to us, the feedback we got was incredible. I mean, just incredible across the board. And we ended up getting, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of business from that, from just people coming up afterwards saying, hey, I've never attended anything like that before. That was awesome. When are you going to do the next one? And it really seems that you guys know what you're talking about. And so we'd love to hear what else you guys have to say. So again, just taking a different approach to marketing rather than here's a pitch deck and here's how much it's going to cost to pay us.
We just heard about the importance of educating customers and sometimes educating a large number of customers all at once. In the next segment, we're going to be talking about how bundling print and digital together can be an effective strategy not only educate your customers, but to also make it easier for your salespeople to do that education.
Yeah, I really liked Adam Lee's example of the seminar approach, because what you can do is bring in a bunch of folks, educate them all at once, and then you can get a lot of sales that way. In fact, when we had done this in markets, we would have ridiculous close rates, like 80% of people would buy something after a seminar.
It was always higher after a seminar.
Always higher. And the thing is that bundling, if it's done correctly, can actually have an even bigger effect because you're dealing with your entire customer base.
Yep. We've certainly seen that work very effectively in the markets that we go into. So next up, we're going to hear from the York News Times, Graham Newspapers, the Observer Reporter, and UT San Diego about how they've bundled things together and how that's worked for them.
When we started putting newspaper ads up onto our website, we talked about putting a surcharge on it, if you will, so we could help pay for the vendor that we used and help pay for the time that was involved and get him over. And we didn't know whether to make that an option or whether to just bundle it into the price of the print ad. And we felt that really to get the mass, to get all of the ads over there, that we had to bundle it with the print ad. And from day one, we bundled it with the print ad. So when a digital user sees the icon that says today's print advertising, they can be assured it's all in there. They're not missing any, it's all in there. We've converted all the print ads in that daily paper onto that site. I think it was a good move to bundle it, and we've never looked back.
Hi, my name's Rob Krecklow. I'm Vice President of Graham Newspapers Incorporated and publisher of 10 small market non-daily newspapers in North Central Texas. Me personally, I'm a little bit of a maverick when it comes to bundling. I think that there is no new bundle. We still sell unbundled and then ask people what else they need. So, let me state it this way. I personally don't think there's a bundle that you should be forcing down anybody's throat. We know out there that there are businesses whose customers are largely over 55 years of age. And they probably need 75 to 80% print and maybe only 20% digital. And we know there are businesses out there that are exactly the opposite of that. And then we know there are businesses that are in between. So we do package. We don't use the word bundling because bundling tends to be you got to buy it all in one piece and it costs X. And these folks hang on to their purse strings pretty tightly. So we go in and we say, here's what we have available for you. And you can package 2 or 3 or the whole shebang and go print and digital and mobile, and we'll put it all together for you. That's where we start talking about let us treat you like an agency. And so we let them pick and choose. So a lot of times what you'll have a small business and a small market do is say, okay, well, I'm in newspaper and I think I want to add this now. And so we package that for them in that fashion. So it's really situational. And I think it sells better if you're not just putting it all together and saying take it all or none.
We have lots of bundles that we sell. We bundle almost everything that we sell now in some way, with digital. And actually, we bundle everything that we sell. Even a straight print ad, is getting SEO. So we bundle everything we sell. I leave it to smarter guys than me to figure out what that magic bullet is. I just know it. For us, we have the tools to succeed right now. It's about maximizing those tools.
My name is Mike Hodges. I'm the president and COO for UT San Diego. I don't necessarily think it's a new bundle. I think it's the old bundle, but it's just better packaged, right? So at the end of the day, we're still selling, audience against media platforms. And for us, to the extent that we can offer a solution that is meeting the needs of the advertiser, that's where the key is. So we need to go out and do a needs assessment, figure out what their audience is and how can we deliver that on what platform. Certainly for us and for all media companies, to the extent that we can sell our owned and operated, that we've got more margin in that, right? But at the same time, we need to resell Google and Facebook and YouTube, et cetera, so we can basically command more of their ad spend.
We've seen some really interesting ways to bundle things together, and we've seen some success in that way, not just with these examples, but many of our customers.
That's true, but I do want to say that a lot of these folks have done it wrong in the past.
That's true.
Traditionally, as the newspaper industry, we have not done a great job of bundling because of transparency.
You're right, we've totally hidden the charges, or what we've done is we've added new products and services without explaining the value of what the customer was getting.
And what that does too is it discounts the value that they think they're getting. So for example, if you automatically bundle in a display ad online with a display ad in print, that you're training the advertiser to think, oh, this display ad online has no value.
Yep, and that actually happened. I mean, the 90s and really the 2000s were about giving away banner advertising. That's not worked out well.
I actually blame newspapers for the reason why internet advertising is so cheap. I blame newspapers.
That actually might be the case. So you have to bundle things correctly. And our philosophy on this is, if you're going to bundle something, you need to be transparent about it, and you need to do a really effective job of explaining the value.
So let me give you an example of this. If you had a special section, for example, a very common thing is to take that special section and then just say, oh, we're going to charge $50 on top of that so that piece of it goes online. And that's it. Well, the small business isn't going to see any value out of that $50. You didn't ascribe anything to it. So what I suggest is, hey, put that special section online, charge that $50, but what you do is provide a report that says, hey, you spent this much money, and what you got was this many impressions in print, in circulation, and you got this many impressions online, pull that data, you got this many views of the actual ad online, because you can pull that information, or if there's interaction, maybe someone clicked a website, and by putting that together, you're actually giving them that whole picture.
And actually what this ends up looking like is marketing. When it's all put together, and it all has value, and it's all working together to support an ad campaign.
And it all comes down to the fact that if you are providing value to your customer and that small business is seeing the results, they're going to come back to you again and again.
I couldn't agree more. So next time on Broadsheet, we're going to be talking about different ad agency models. If you're not a subscriber already, make sure you go to broadsheet.org and sign up. You'll get our emails, and you'll also find out when our next episodes will drop. Thanks so much for watching.